Welcome to Methods Bridge. We train and learn. We shall continue our C++ learning. Let's get started. In today's agenda, we shall see C++ tokens, keywords, identifiers, different data types, operators. Let's look at C++ tokens. A token is the smallest element of C++ program that is meaningful to the compiler. That means the compiler should understand the tokens. Tokens are the smallest building blocks of a program that compiler understands. Every word in C source code can be considered as a token. Each token in C++ serves a specific purpose in the syntax and semantic of C++. If you look at a tree here, tokens are keywords, identifiers, constants, strings, operators. These are all different types of tokens that we see in C++ programming. Keywords means you might heard that integer, character, while, for, and so on. Identifiers means the variable names pi, num, marks, amount, salary, etc. Constants means the value which will remain as unchanged variables, basically, right? 15, 0.52, minus 44. These are all kind of a constants. Whereas the strings, the word or group of the words enclosed with double quotes. This will be treated as a string literal. Operators, on the other hand, plus, minus, multiplier, divisor, double increment, decrement, things like that. So, in a nutshell, every smallest element in C++ program can be considered as token, so the compiler should understand. Keywords are reserved words that have a fixed and a definite meaning. Their sense cannot be changed or modified. As we know, keywords cannot be used as a names or variables in your program. We can also treat them as a reserved, predefined words. Identifiers. Identifiers are used to refer a unique C++ variables. Identifiers can be short names like A, B, things like that, or more descriptive names. Meaning, when you read the variable, it gives some sense to you, like a total, sum, area, aggregate, things like that. The recommendation to all the developers while writing a program, you must use descriptive names. This is as per the C++ standards. Constants. Constants refers a fixed value that do not change during the execution of the program. Const is a keyword, reserved word, is used to declare a variable is a constant. Constant means read only, also said to be unchanged. Strings. Strings are objects that are used to store sequence of characters, also known as words or text. Whereas operators are used to perform operations on operands, like arithmetic operations, assignment operator, comparison operations, logical operations, bitwise operations. So all these category of tokens will be seen in C++ program. In fact, these are all essential for us to write a software program. Now we know the compiler job is much more than you writing a program. Point to be noted. Here are the C++ supported keywords, a reserved words. As per ANSI keywords, you can see them in the bold. ASM, auto, break, case, catch, char, class, const, continue, default, delete, do, double, else, enum, extern, float, for, friend, goto, if, inline, int, long, new, operator, private, protected, public, register, written, short, signed, size of, static, struct, switch, template, this, throw, try, typed up, union, unsigned, virtual, void, volatile, while. Likewise, there are the new additions like a bool, false, true, export, explicit, type ID, type name, using, void char underscore t, static cast, dynamic cast, constant cast, things like that. These are all C++ keywords, a reserved words in C++ which you cannot use them as your user defined variables. Point to be noted. Identifiers means names. A identifier is a sequence of characters used to denote one of the following, like a object names, variable names, class, structure, union names, enumerated type names, member of a class, struct, union, enumeration, functions, class members, type, def, macro names, and so on. These are all the names, right? That's why identifiers also referred as a names, variable names. Now the question is, can I write whatever I would wish to? No. There are certain rules that we have to follow to create identifiers in your program. An identifier name consists of letters, uppercase A to G, lowercase a to G, digits 0 to 9, and underscore. Identifiers are case sensitive. Uppercase and lowercase letters are distinct. A reserved keyword cannot be used as a variable names, which we discussed. The identifier name cannot start with a digit. Very important point to be noted. A first letter should be alphabetical. After the first letter, we can use combination of letters, digits, underscores. Underscore is allowed to start with. It is not considered as a good practice though. The identifier cannot contain white spaces, special characters like hash, percentage, etc. Identifier must be unique in its namespace. Meaningful name should be given to a variables. A descriptive names are preferably you should have to use in your program. Alright, these are the rules which we have to follow to create an identifiers in C++ programming. Data. Data means the value which you are going to store in a variable. Alright, the value which you can store in the variable may vary. Can you sense? Let's say salary in the form of number. It can be a numerical, meaning digital or integer or decimal. Names is a string, isn't it, right? So your name should be in strings. My name, like ABC, should be in the form of string. String means a group of letters enclosed by double quotes, isn't it? A character array. So data can be different in nature. So you should be understanding what is the data that you are going to store in your variable and then how much memory that is required, because you have to tell to compiler to reserve a specified memory for you to store the your value of the variable in the memory, isn't it? So how you are going to do that? Using data types. In the programmatic practice, we have various type of data types: built-in data types, derived data types, user-defined data types. Built-in data types, also known as primitive or fundamental data types, like integral, void, boolean, floating. Integral means integer and a character. Boolean means bool. Floating means float, double. Let's look at a derived data types: arrays, functions, pointers, references. These are all under derived data types. We also have user-defined data types like a class, structure, union, enum, type types. Along with this, we have a qualifier called a modifier. All these data types may be qualified as a signed, unsigned, long, short. Data types are used to tell the variables the type of data they can store. You agree? Whenever a variable is defined in C++, the compiler allocates some memory for that variable based on the data type with which it is declared. Every data type requires a different amount of memory. Point to be noted. Size of the memory allocated for each data type is different. For instance, character data type requires 1 byte of memory. Other way, 1 byte of memory will be allocated for a variable of type character. Similarly, all integer variables for which 4 bytes of memory will be allocated. Likewise, we have different sizes for the different data types. In your program, based out of value, data to be stored in the variable, meaning data variable, we have to understand what is that a type of variable that I should suppose to declare, so that my compiler reserves specified memory for that variable. Are you clear? This concept is very important and which is common across all programming languages, except the few where you don't require to think of what is the size of memory will be allocated for the variable. For instance, Python, you don't require to define data types explicitly, whereas the C++, Java, C Sharp, things like that, you should have to define data types for the variables. So here I have a sample program wherein I was trying to print the size of each data type, and here is an output which you can also see in the table. All right. Operators in C++. C++ has variety of operators that can be used to perform operations on operands. Operands means variables and its value. There are various categories of operators. Operators in C++ classified as arithmetic operators, assignment operators, comparison operators, logical operator, bitwise operators. Here are the few examples. Arithmetic: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, increment and decrement. Assignment operator: assignment, add and assignment, subtract and assignment, multiply and assignment, division and assignment. Comparison: is equal, greater than or equal, less than or equal, not equal. Logical: logical and, logical or, logical not. Bitwise and, bitwise or, bitwise XOR.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, click on the bell icon, and please leave the comment. Happy learning. Thank you. Stay tuned to the upcoming sessions.